Good morning and thank you for joining us for WAAY 31 First News at 11. I'm Meredith Wood. We're going to check in with meteorologist Aris Arcelari on this Monday as we get the week started. Yesterday, a fantastic day.
Yes,
actually, the whole weekend was just great.
It was, and you know, we don't have any inclement weather today, but it's just not going to be quite as warm as it was yesterday.
Yeah, because it felt like springtime yesterday.
It did. We had a cold front come through overnight. Probably wouldn't have known it because, you know, there really wasn't too much that happened when it came through, except the temperatures dropped. But we started off in the 30s this morning, and we've recovered into the 40s now. Should make it to about the mid-50s a little bit later on this afternoon. But check this out. This is the visible satellite imagery. Barely a cloud in the sky at all. A couple very thin ones in northeast Mississippi. Now, I think we will get a few clouds developing later on this afternoon, but they'll just kind of mix with the sunshine a little bit. Overall, ends up being a mostly sunny day. High temperatures, current temperatures are in the mid to upper 40s right now. We are at 48 in Decatur and Arab and Scottsboro. Fort Payne's at 52. That's a warm spot right now. And we still got low 40s in southern middle Tennessee. Again, this is an air mass out behind a cold front, so it's generally a little bit cooler as you get farther up toward the north. So, again, winds are out of the north today. They're generally around 5 to 10 miles an hour, so it does feel just a hair cooler than it actually is outside. But we've dealt with worse, and we will deal with worse by the middle part of the week as far as the cold air goes. We've got some colder air coming in along with the chance for some snow. Once again, we'll let you know what kind of snow we're expecting. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes, Meredith.
Ari, you know how I feel about that word. We're going to take it out of our vocabulary, and we're not going to say it again until next winter, okay? Got it. Good. Strong winds, tornadoes. It's hard to tell what kind of severe weather has hit until damage is surveyed. The National Weather Service has the results from Thursday night storms. Lillian Lalo has more. Lillian.
Well, after a severe weather event strikes, it's really hard to tell if damage was caused by powerful winds or tornadoes. But now we know what exactly hit on Thursday and where. The National Weather Service in Huntsville and the DeKalb County Emergency Management Agency, they surveyed the areas hit hardest, and here's what they found.
Several areas around North Alabama were damaged during Thursday night's weather event. The hardest hit, Fort Payne. The damage was caused by an EF2 tornado with peak winds at 125 miles per hour. It all started at the Jet Polymer plant. That's where a tractor trailer landed on top of the plant's roof. The tornado then skipped along its track and touched down again along Green Valley Circle. Only one injury was reported. The structural damage in northern Lawrence County was caused by an EF1 tornado that produced 105 mile-per-hour winds. The Bay Hill Marina was hit particularly hard. Luckily, no one was injured. Parts of eastern Lauderdale County experienced an EF1 tornado with winds reaching just over 100 miles per hour. This tornado snapped trees, power poles, and caused damage to homes. One child was hurt. School was closed at Clements High School on Friday as workers cleaned up storm damage and power was restored.
And another EF1 was reported along Section Line Road in Cartwright, the Cartwright community. And you can find a complete list of storm results on WAAYTV.com. Just visit WAAYTV.com/weather/blog. Live in studio, Lillian Lalo, WAAY 31 First News.
All right, thanks very much, Lillian. A shooting in Giles County, Tennessee leaves one man injured and another behind bars. Officials say deputies were called to Monroe Road where they found Boyd Rowe allegedly shot by 51-year-old Henry Huffman. Huffman is being held in the Giles County Jail on attempted murder charges. He is due in court on March 4th. Alabama is working towards making state prisons safer for inmates, staff, and the public. Federal officials sent letters to every governor last week asking if their state is complying with the Prison Rape Elimination Act. The law was enacted in 2003 to crack down on sexual assaults against prison inmates. The letter comes after a federal probe into reports of widespread sexual misconduct at Julia Tutwiler Prison for Women in Wetumpka. A new bill to repeal the state's adopted Common Core standards has been introduced to the state Senate. Senator Scott Beeson wants the educational standards dropped until 2017 and the state to revert to previous standards. That's according to our news partners at the Times Daily. Common Core is part of the Alabama College and Career Ready standards adopted by the state board, and they have an idea to the students in Alabama learning the same concepts as students in their same grade in other states. Beeson argues that Alabama should wait to see results from other states before keeping it as a permanent fixture. Alabama makes it towards the top of yet another not-so-flattering list. Alabama comes in fourth on the list of the most miserable states. The rankings were based on household income, life expectancy, and obesity, just to name a few. West Virginia takes the top spot, and Tennessee comes in at number 7. Sunday wrapped the final day of the Bassmaster Classic as festivities drew hundreds to Lake Guntersville for the big event. Anglers competed to win prize money and pride, and it was also a lot of fun for spectators, especially families that live on the lake.
It's amazing that we have this, world-class bass fishing lake right here by home, and how much they really love being here in Alabama and being able to fish this. So also being state conservation, it makes me proud to be where I am and work where I do.
The winner is Springville, Alabama native angler Randy Howell. He caught 15 fish for a total of 67 pounds, 8 ounces. He earns his first Bassmasters Classic victory and walks away with a cool $300,000. Not bad. Hundreds of students from Valley High Schools showcase their tech skills at the Space and Rocket Center. The Robots to Rocket City event features smart robots that teams have just 6 weeks to work on. Teams have to complete tasks like picking up a ball and throwing it. Yesterday was just demonstrations. The teams will go to competitions all over the country.
It really makes me want to be an engineer, because we have to think. You can't just go in there and put together a robot. It's easier said than done.
I bet it is. The event was co-hosted by the Space and Rocket Center and NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center. The 2014 Winter Olympics are officially in the record book, and it was a successful 2-week host for host country Russia. The federation took home the most medals and avoided any major problems. The closing ceremony highlighted some of Russia's greatest gifts to the world and passed the torch to South Korea for the next games. Here's the latest from Sochi.
The ceremonies were the grand finale of a 17-day extravaganza of sports and security. Russia's Ring of Steel successfully protected these Olympics from terrorism. On this last day of the 2014 Winter Olympics, the last medal for the United States. Stephen Holcomb piloted the US-1 bobsled to a third-place finish. That was good for Holcomb's second bronze medal at Sochi. Russian President Vladimir Putin had reason to smile. Russia led the world with 13 gold medals and with 33 medals overall. The United States was second with 28 total. Team Canada won the hockey gold medal with a 3-0 victory over Sweden, the last of 98 gold medal events. U.S. hockey player Julie Chu had the honor of carrying the American flag at the closing ceremonies.
To get such an humbling honor, that's exactly how it is, and it's really a testament, I think, to my teammates.
The most expensive Olympics ever, at $51 billion, paid off in gold for the host nation. The final hours were devoted to a pageant depicting scenes from Russian history. The Olympic flame was extinguished, and the Olympic flag passed on to South Korea, where it will fly over the 2018 Games. And with that, the athletes said goodbye to one another, to Sochi, and to this Olympic season. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Sochi, Russia.
As one set of Olympic athletes from across the globe head home, Sochi is now set to welcome Paralympians to compete in their games. Huntsville native Megan Harmon will compete as a Paralympian in the snowboard cross competition. She lost most of a leg 5 years ago in a motorcycle accident. Next month, she heads to Sochi to compete with the U.S. Paralympic snowboarding team.
This year, I really want to go out there and do my best. It's my first time out there. I'm not really sure what to expect at this point. And, I really want to go out there and just try really hard and, make everybody proud.
This is the first year athletes with lower limb impairments will be competing in the Paralympics. Coming up on WAAY 31 First News at 11, we'll have details on how you can see the Spellman Jazz Ensemble live in concert, plus get ideas for your home with the Limestone County Home and Garden Show. Erin.
I'm Erin Dacey. A new kind of laser lighting the way to better treatment for some autoimmune diseases.
And meteorologist Arisar Solari will take a look at the week's forecast when we come back. Stay with us.
When you're injured in an accident, insurance companies won't fight for your